How's everybody doing? I'm Dave. This is my 2001 Honda Civic LX. It's a non-v-tec. It's got 224,000 miles on it, and it's a little bit overdue for its second timing belt change. First timing belt change, I had it done through the dealership. They charged me about $800, a little bit more because I wanted the water pump to be replaced as well. I got the water pump replaced, timing belt, AC alternator belts were changed as well. No seals, and that was pretty much the extent of what they did through that service. Now, since I'm at over 200,000 miles, we're going to go a little bit more in depth with the service. We're going to change the belts like the first time, the water pump like the first time. This time the auto tensioner, it wears out over time, and with considering how many miles are on this car, it's time for that change. Also going to get in there a little bit deeper, change the crankshaft and the camshaft seals. We're going to get under the valve cover. We're going to change the valve cover gasket. We're going to change the grommets for the valve cover, and we're also going to get into those tubes and change those valve cover tube seals. So we've got quite a bit of work to do. I'm about to run off to the store, get this engine warmed up so we can drain the oil. We also need to drain the coolant. So let's go ahead and get our tools. Let's get our supplies, and I'll list up on the screen here in just a moment exactly what you're going to need to do this complete timing belt 200,000 mile plus service for a Honda Civic 7th generation. So let's get started. Enjoy, sit back, relax, and I hope this helps you in your endeavors. Thank you. Alright, first thing we need to do is drain our fluids, and we got our oil pan right here. I got myself a half-inch socket wrench with a 17mm socket on the end to get our bolt off for our oil discharge. Here we go. One of the easiest things to drain on this car is your radiator fluid. You get a little reservoir down here, right up under the car on the front end. It's a little plastic plug, basically. You just give it a good little twist. There we go. And there she blows. Might want to take the radiator cap loose. Give it a little air so it'll drain a little bit easier there. Good times. Okay, after you're done draining your coolant, it's time to do one of the most important things here before you get started. Let's disconnect our battery. Okay. What I've got on both terminals is a couple little 10mm bolts that I've loosened already. And I'm just going to tuck these out of the way. Now that we got the tire off, it's time to get this dust shield off. You gotta get this grommet and this grommet to start off with. I've got this one loose. Most of the time these grommets, you have to break them loose if you don't have the right tool, but I've figured out a way to save these grommets, even the older brittle ones. 2 flathead screwdrivers. This one's going to be a little difficult. I'm going to have to turn it if I can. And you wedge one in this slot right here and twist. Really what I'm wanting to do is wedge them in both spots at the same time and twist. And try, there it goes. Keep twisting at it and eventually the middle part will come out and then the holder itself will come out. And there you go. That's how you can remove grommets without destroying them. Go ahead. As you can see, I got an extra jack just under the oil pan with stacked blocks here. That's going to hold the engine in place when we take the top motor mount off and the side bracket for the motor mount. All you want to do is just secure your blocks and your jack on there just enough to hold the engine. Before taking out the bolts for the valve cover, we got to take off this pretty vanity plate. Alright, now that we got the lovely vanity cover off, little vanity cover here, expose all the bullshit on top of our valve cover here. We got a bracket right here, one 10mm bolt that needs to be removed, and then we've got a 10mm right here that needs to be removed. So that way you have a little give that uncovers this 10mm bolt right here. We've got 4 more that need to be loosened so we can lift the right side of our valve cover just a little bit to get to our timing belt upper cover, and that will allow us to take out these 10mm bolts and lift up and pull out that timing belt cover. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen. There we go. Alright. We need the side cover off, and the lip of the rocker cover or the valve cover is holding it in place. So we need to lift this valve cover up just a little bit. I need some light. Shine your light on me. Break that bitch loose. Try to get it on the bolt itself. What we're doing is removing the top motor mount with a little elbow grease. Break that bitch loose. We may need the breaker bar for this. So, is this going to get in the way?
No.
Okay.
Hope not.
So give her a little, there you go. A little breaker bar and some elbow grease. And you, damn. Oh, God. What was that?
Well, the oil, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Nothing bad, but...
My pain is your gain. Alright, so we got our motor mount boot that we completely destroyed here. And we got, what size is this socket?
14.
A 14-inch socket?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a
Millimeter.
or 14mm socket. We got 1, 2, and 3. One behind our power steering reservoir here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and break this loose. Hopefully no more surprises. Oh, it's already broken. What a lovely start to the evening.
Straight up.
Yes. See how much damage we've done. Take a nice close look at this part here in the boot, in the milk inside. So that's what's been destroyed. Lovely. Alright, getting the power steering pump and the reservoir, well, it's all one piece there, is a little bit tricky. I've got some pieces removed already. Basically what I had right here, attached right here to here, was a bracket and a couple of 10mm bolts that I took out. There was a wing nut and a 10mm that went right here, or this is where the wing nut went, and then through that where it aligned right, I don't know if you can see it, hard to see, right here and right here was a bolt that went all the way through. Fairly long one. It just kind of slides on through. And then your wing nut right here goes down and screws all the way down. Then you have a 10mm on the opposite side of it. Now here's the tricky part of getting this reservoir out. You got two 12mm bolts. You got one on the top side here, right here. Let's see. And then you got one on the bottom side, which needs to come out. There's no way I can get the camera in there, but there's two on the right hand side of this power steering pump. You got one at the top, 12 millimeter, and one at the bottom. After you get them loosened, you should be able to lift this all the way up out and set it to the side. Then we can get to our alternator. Alright, so after struggling with it for a little bit, I finally got the power steering pump and reservoir out of the way. Now we can get to our alternator and move it out of the way. So we can get to our motor mount bracket and get it the hell out of the way. Then we can finally get started on the fun stuff. One thing I want to point out here is you should be able to see it there. There is a bolt on the side that threaded in through. This is the adjustment side of it. Anyways, threaded in here in a 12 millimeter nut attached on the other side over here. This threads through here like this. 12 millibolt or nut threads onto the back end of it. Put this up here. There we go. And as you can see, if I can get a good view of it, there it is, right here. You see you got a couple inches of wiggle room here, or a couple inches of room where you can adjust the tightness or the tension of that power steering belt. So the bottom 12 mil nut and bolt that attaches is where your tension happens. Other 12 mil, just as a reminder, is right above that. That's got to be removed as well to get your power steering pump finally out of your engine and out of the way. Let's get started on our alternator. Alright, next we get a 14 millimeter bolt that's right on top of our alternator here. So we're just going to loosen this little sucker. So we finally got the alternator loose. I got it in the picture there.
Yep.
Okay, got the alternator off, and we had three 14 millimeter bolts. One was a stud at the top. Then we had two at the bottom, which I had to feel for. I could see the one at the top. That one was easy to get out. The two at the bottom, I just had to feel around and get to those by hand. They weren't too difficult, just as long as you get an idea of where they're at. Then you had some electrical connections. I believe it was, yeah, it was sitting in there like this. You had a little electrical connector right here. Both of them have boots on them that cover them up, keep them from getting moisture in. This one, you push on the left hand side and you pull it out ever so easily. And this side, you have a little 10 millimeter nut here that you have to loosen. If you're lucky, you won't break the stud like I did. My pain is your gain. So we got this big open space here. We've taken our power steering reservoir and pump, pushed it to the side. We've taken out our alternator, and that leaves us with our side motor mount here. And we've got, I believe, 5 bolts. I'll tell you in just a second what size they are. This whole thing should slide out to the left and back and come completely out. Then our covers for our timing belt will be completely free and clear. We can get started on that. Alright, time to remove the side motor mount.
14
We got 3 14mm bolts
on the front.
on the front, and then we got 2,
on the
hopefully
side.
14s. Probably be just our luck, they'll be like 12s on the side or something, but they should be 14s on the side as well. My pain is your gain. Oh, don't do that.
Well, yes, it does come off.
Oh. Oh, you already got all 5 of them?
Not all 5, but there's...
Oh, it's a... What the... I thought it was one whole piece.
Oh, that's not the part that comes... Now I see, but you have to get that... It looks like you have to get that off to get to this bolt.
Oh. So it's 2 pieces, huh? Okay, well... the power steering pump sits on this, and we definitely have to take this piece off to get to that side motor mount bracket.
Well, easily. You might.
Yeah, and how many bolts? It took 3 bolts to take this part off right here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so we'll set this aside. Okay,
Yeah, give it a little,
time to
squirt.
All right.
I don't know how.
And, yeah, very, very important before you start this job. Get probably about 2 cans of this shit. PB penetrating catalyst, or any kind of brand you might be happy with using. There. Where's the other one?
Give it another try.
Hold on. Let me see if I can spritz right above it. Yay!
It's just getting it.
No surprises so far. 5 14mm bolts to take off the actual side motor mount bracket. And this is the moment of glory. It's probably best to go ahead and take out all the bolts on your valve cover. You don't have to take it off, but it allows you to lift it up just enough to get your... Oh, now the bracket just kind of falls down. Boom. It was held in place by this little plastic cover here.
There's our hard to get bolt.
Yep. Okay.